and good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Josh Engel. Today is Thursday, September 14th, and we have Oak Mountain Academy in the studio with us today. We are currently live streaming on our WLBB Facebook page. So if you have any questions or comments for our guest, feel free to throw those in, and I would be more than happy to read them out to our guest. And we already have a comment. It says from Michael Frost, "You are awesome, Cassie." Or Casey.
Kinsley.
Maybe that was a typo. That may have been a typo in the comments. But good morning, everyone. How are you doing today?
Good.
Great, thanks.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we have the Oak Mountain Academy Lower School in the studio with us today. We have the Lower School Dean, Dr. Doug Moore, as well as three students. We have third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade represented today. Third grade, we have Varian Bueller, as well as fourth grade, Holden Hansen, and fifth grade, Kinsley Hart. Today we're going to be chatting about life at the lower school, and I'm excited to get a chance to talk with the students and get some of their perspectives on some of the fun stuff that's happening at the lower school. First, why don't we start with a little bit of a biography. Tell us a bit about yourself. Let's start with Varian. Tell us your name and tell us a bit about you.
My name is Variam, and my favorite subject is science because it's like just fun. It's like the science. It's like you get to know like what's happening around you.
That's fantastic. Yeah, you get to understand how the world works.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, so you're interested in science.
Yes.
Do you like math and stuff? Do you like physics, or are you
Yes.
more into biology?
I like anything that's in STEM,
Anything in STEM.
like science, technology, engineering, and math.
Have you had an opportunity to do a lot of STEM classwork at Oak Mountain Academy?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
The projects are sometimes too big.
Are they?
Yeah.
A little bit too big. But the good thing is you have a lot of support with your fellow students and the
Yeah.
teachers. I imagine that everybody offers help when needed.
And too many, like supplies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember having a big book bag full of supplies, but that way you're prepared. Whatever your class may throw at you.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw it over to fourth grader Holden Hansen. Holden, good morning, buddy.
Good morning.
So you've been on the program with us before for Heritage Days, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
Well, clearly we were missing you. We're glad to have you back. So you're in the fourth grade. Tell us a bit about yourself and about some of the subjects that you like.
My name is Holden, and I like doing like math and the extracurriculums, like after-school clubs like K-Kids and Lego Club and Junior Master Gardener.
You're in the Lego Club? That sounds awesome. What was K-Club?
K-Kids Club, it's supported by the Grown Ups Kiwanis Club.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's what the K stands for. Cool. That's awesome. So you're interested in all that. You mentioned that you're interested in Legos. Would you ever be interested in architecture and building, or is there something else you might want to do when you get older?
Maybe that, or I'm not sure.
Well, the good thing is you have plenty of time to decide what you would like to do. Well, we'll throw it over to a fifth grader, Kinsley Hart. Hey, Kinsley.
My name's Kinsley, and my favorite subject is social studies.
You like social studies? What about what era in history are you interested in?
The 9/11.
Like the era of 9/11? That was a wild time in America's history, wasn't it? So we just celebrated, passed 9/11, September 11th. I think it was on Monday. And there was a lot of time to reflect and talk about what happened. Did you guys talk about that in school?
Yes.
Sure. So what do you think you might want to do when you grow up? Keep in mind you have plenty of time to make that choice. But just based on what you're interested in, what could you imagine doing one day?
Teaching social studies as a teacher or becoming a vet.
That's perfect. Now you want to get a little closer to the mic and getting to talk a little bit louder. So say that again.
I'm thinking about either teaching social studies as a teacher or becoming a vet.
Oh, cool. Right on. So do you have animals? Do you like dogs and cats?
I love dogs and cats. Those are my two favorite animals.
Those are your two favorites?
Mhm.
So do you
We've
have...
got 4 cats, 1 dog. We've got like 13 cows, and then we just lost our last horse.
You say 13 cows?
And 70 chickens.
70 chickens. It keeps getting bigger and bigger.
But we used to have like 120.
Oh, you used to have 120? I got you. I got you.
Then we just got we got a load of chicks, but they're adults now. That's what made our 70.
Oh, okay. All right.
We got
Cool.
like 60 chicks.
Well, that's fantastic. You might end up in agriculture one day. Possibly. Well, let's throw it over to the lower school dean, Dr. Doug Moore. Good morning, Dr. Moore.
Good morning.
So it's great to have you and some students in the studio with us today. I always love having a chance to talk with the lower school. First and foremost, they don't have as much of a filter, and I love the way their minds work. I love what they're thinking about, and I imagine that the faculty and staff love that too.
Absolutely.
So if you could, why don't you talk to us a bit about yourself and kind of give us a little bit. I know we'll be getting into more details in the second segment, but if you could tell us a bit about the lower school.
All right, Josh. We appreciate the opportunity to be here today for Oak Mountain Academy, and these are 3 great students of ours, and we have about 115 kids in our division. We're a relatively small school altogether. Typically, one teacher per grade level. So that's a little bit unusual for us because we try to keep class sizes small, but then that really helps with that family feel that we're trying to provide at the lower school. You know, that everybody knows everybody. So as they walk up and down the halls, as 4th grade, one of their jobs is to sell ice cream, on ice cream days, and so they meet all the kids and they know each other, and even on arrival and dismissal, they know each other. Playground time, recess time. Now that we're through the COVID challenges, we can get out of those bubbles and sort of cross grade levels some, and they get to play with each other. So that's a big part of our environment, is that family feel.
Excellent. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to go and take our first commercial break. Time is 8:37. We are streaming on our WLBB Facebook page. So if you have any questions or comments for our guest, students, and Dr. Doug Moore from the lower school dean, feel free to throw those in. We already have some more comments, and guess what? Kinsley, they're for you. We got Kathy Hart says, so proud of you, Kinsley, and Abby Hart says, yay, Kinsley. So clearly you were very loved. So I'm glad to have you on the show today. But yeah, we're going to go and take our first commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to chat more about life at the lower school, including academics and the Big Little program, which we're very excited to talk about, as well as some opportunities outside of the classroom. So stay with us.
The World Language Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined, curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in biliteracy fields of study. The successful completion of this journey provides colleges with a method to recognize a rigorous foreign language immersion experience for all students at Oak Mountain Academy. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
And we're back to Community Voice. Time is 8:30. Time is 8:39. I'm your host, Josh Engel. Today is September 14th, and we have Oak Mountain Academy in the studio with us today. Today we're going to be chatting about life at the lower school. A lot of exciting things are going on at the lower school division up at Oak Mountain Academy. So in order to talk about that today, we have Dr. Doug Moore, the lower school dean, as well as 3 students. We have a 3rd grader, Varian Buhler, as well as 4th grader, Holden Hansen, and 5th grader, we have Kinsley Hart. And we got another comment that just came in. We love hearing from these amazing representatives from Oak Mountain. Thanks for hosting them. Oh, you're very welcome. That is from Rob Hansen. Cool. All right, so you know Rob Hansen?
He's my dad.
Is your dad? All right. Hey, Dad. Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's throw it back over to Dr. Doug Moore. Dr. Doug Moore is the lower school dean. So let's talk about some of the exciting things that are going on. I know before the program we had a chance to talk a little bit about the Big Little program and et cetera. If we could, let's talk about academics, athletics, the Big Little program, anything you'd like to cover.
Okay, well, just following up on that family feel that we were talking just before the break, that's one of the reasons that this summer we began to talk about this Big Little program. One of the things that we really appreciate that's unique about Oak Mountain Academy is the fact that all three divisions, lower school, middle school, and upper school, are all on the same campus, and that's obviously an unusual situation, particularly being a small family, and it just gave us the opportunity to really intentionally try to connect our different divisions. So having those kids paired up, they've had the opportunity to meet at a couple of assemblies now, and the lower school kids get to sit with those middle school and upper school kids during a pep rally or during some sort of an assembly program in the gym, rather than us all sitting in our division. So it's a little bit of a change up, and it's created some excitement, I think, and I think it's a step in the right direction for us. I think it's a very natural step that we just needed to take. As far as academics, of course, that's really, we're a college prep academy, so we work really hard to try to provide rigorous coursework from the little ones, even to pre-K 3. It's amazing. I'm always amazed at what they're doing when I even go into the pre-K 3 program. I mean, they're starting to write their letters, and later in the year they'll be writing their name. And but as we move through the grade levels, just the advanced math and reading, and of course STEM, social studies, science, all of those different things that they do in academics. It's pretty amazing what the kids can do if we just try to remove those limits.
If we could expand on this for a moment. With the lower school, Oak Mountain Academy is renowned for their academic rigor and for their test scores, their graduation rates.
Right.
Could you speak about what might be happening a bit differently at Oak Mountain Academy as far as the lower school as compared to some other schools? Something that you guys, perhaps some special ingredients that you try to put in early to help cultivate the student as they for success as they move forward.
Well, I think expectation is something that in all schools that we strive to provide. We have those high expectations. We're going to set the bar high, and I think just by the families that apply and are accepted at Oak Mountain, we end up with exceptionally talented young people, number one, but also very supportive families. So there's very little distraction in the day. And I spent a number of years in public school, and it's a great process. The difference is here that you really have control over the learning environment, with small class sizes and kids who are really motivated to do well, as you can hear from these kids talking about their favorite subjects, and I think most any kid that you chose from a class would say the same thing. They would be excited about the academic program.
Well, I can tell up front that Variam has a better understanding of STEM and physics than I do immediately. And by the way, Variam, we actually had a comment come in just for you. We had a comment. It says, "Watching from Albuquerque, New Mexico, cheering for Variam," and that is from A. Mander. Do you know that person?
I don't think so.
Oh well, they said that you're great and they're supporting you.
He has
That name sounds familiar.
He has fans everywhere.
You say that name sounds familiar?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, they are giving you some love from Albuquerque, New Mexico. So let's throw it back over to Dr. Doug Moore. Could we expand a bit on the Big Little program?
So the Big Little program, we sat down this summer and just thought about the different kids that we had and their personalities and their likes and dislikes, and tried to encourage that connection. So throughout the year, they'll be inviting each other to different events and trying to connect with those on-campus events that might be after school or maybe at an athletic event, but certainly during the day as well. But again, that mentorship is important. Those upper school kids have a lot to offer and encourage those younger kids to do well in their classes and to follow the Warrior Way. And the Warrior Way is honesty, respect, and responsibility. That's something that we talk a lot about. That's our code of conduct, and we live by that on the mountain.
Fantastic. Well, are all the students represented here, are they all participants in the Big Little program?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, let's throw it over to Holden Hansen. He's a fourth grader. Holden, could you talk to me a bit about your experience with the Big Little program?
My experience was our first time we met with our buddies was in our classroom when we got introduced to them. My buddy was Eli Thompson. And then the second time we went, it was for a pep rally.
It was for a pep rally?
Yes.
That is great. So have you been able to learn from the Big that you're working with, and get to learn some more about what school's going to be like from them as you move forward?
Yes, because my brother's in the same class as him also.
Oh, well, that's handy. So he knows him. So then they are both kind of looking out for you then.
Yes.
Wonderful. It must mean a lot to know that you have some older kids looking out for you.
Yes, sir.
See, that goes a long way. I mean, in some schools, a lot of the older kids are like picking on you or bullying on you. But at Oak Mountain Academy, I think it's great that you have nurtured and cultivated an environment where the big students, the older students, can look out for the lower students and help offer that guidance. So, is this something that you're going to continue to do throughout your time at the lower school?
Hopefully.
That's great. Awesome. Well, Dr. Moore, let's talk a bit about opportunities outside of the classroom.
Okay. So, in the academic classroom, obviously, we do those core content areas: math, science, social studies, English language arts, reading, vocabulary, all of those academic subjects. But, and I know if I start to name these, I'll leave some out because it varies a little bit. The enrichment classes vary a little bit by the grade level. But we, for instance, start Spanish at pre-K 4. And so they have the opportunity to have Spanish all the way through the lower school, and then of course they also start to get that in middle school. So they have a good foundation for that. So that's sort of the concept behind having these enrichment classes, is to give them a broad base of experiences. So they have drama once a week, music once a week. They do STEM activities once a week. They have library skills. And of course, check out books, and we're working on a program called Accelerated Reader, where they earn points for taking tests, and it encourages reading comprehension. We have a party at the end of each quarter. We have a party at the end of the year for Accelerated Reader. But then other things that are outside of the classes, outside of the school day, is that we have clubs like Junior Master Gardeners for some of the older kids, and K-Kids, which is an arm of the Kiwanis International. And then we also have Lego clubs for all ages. That's sort of broken up so that it's age specific, but that encourages creativity and engineering. So those things, we're also going to start an elementary version of the National Honor Society this year in our division, which will be a new thing for us. So those opportunities, we have a piano teacher who comes in. She actually is teaching today. I saw her this morning, but parents could choose to have a piano lesson, and they get pulled out of their class and have a piano lesson. So there are lots of opportunities that kids have to grow wherever their interest lies.
And it seems important for the faculty and staff at Oak Mountain. It seems like there is a lot of effort and energy put into expanding the students' aperture, like outside of the typical subjects that you learn. I mean, we're talking about Legos, which is great hand-eye coordination and following steps, following things in sequential order, and of course you have the band, everything else that you've been mentioning. Right. It encourages that art, I mean, and that's something that I imagine with smaller class sizes, that's something that you're able to focus on.
Right. And the another unusual thing about our school is that in a typical school situation, you have to at some point sort of choose a track. I'm an athlete, or I'm a musician, or I'm strictly academic, or I'm involved in service organizations. And what we encourage is that broad base, at all ages, that they're involved in all of these things, because there's no reason why that they can't participate in all of these different aspects of life.
That's perfect. Yeah, let's throw it over to Kinsley. We're coming to you. We've worked our way through the other grades here. Kinsley, I think you mentioned earlier that you are involved in the band.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me a bit about what instrument do you play?
I play my aunt's old French horn. She got it when she was in elementary school. I originally started out doing trumpet, but then when I found my French horn, I was really happy about it, and I asked Dr. Moore if I could play it.
French horn's really cool. And also it's cool because not a lot of people play it. So you'll be like one of the few people that are playing the French horn. What kind of music have you been playing?
We've been practicing on notes. It's harder for me to get like some of the specific notes, like whenever I have to press down on the valves, it's like tricky.
Yeah, there's like a sequence, you know?
I'm like an entirely different note from everybody else in my band.
That's okay.
And then the French horn book has two sides, like so you can have line 1 on one side and line B on the other, and line 1 on the other side. So it's like two different books combined, but
Sure.
there's like two different pages.
Is this something that you imagine you'll continue to practice throughout your time at Oak Mountain?
Yes.
Would you ever want to play music professionally?
Probably.
Would you play French horn?
Yeah.
Awesome. You heard it here, folks. Kinsley Hart, she's going to be playing French horn till the day she graduates, and probably beyond. All right, we're going to go ahead and take our last commercial break. But when we come back, we will wrap up our conversation with Dr. Doug Moore, Kinsley Hart, Varian Buhler, and Holden Hansen, the last three being students at Oak Mountain Academy in the lower school, as we chat about life at the lower school and about a bit more information for all the listeners at home. You're listening to Community Voice, brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
The Entrepreneur Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in business and leadership. Critical areas include identifying entrepreneurial characteristics, selecting a value position, and business model development. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
And we're back to Community Voice. Today is September 14th. I'm your host, Josh Engel, and today we have the lower school from Oak Mountain Academy in the studio with us today. We only have a few minutes left, but I did get some more comments in. Kinsley, well, first of all, clearly we got the most popular kids and teacher from Oak Mountain because the comments are just popping off. We got Maddie Lawrence, woo, go Kins. We also have Abby Hart. You are all amazing. I love you so much, Kinsey. I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. And then, Dr. Moore's getting some love too, Connie Frost. Dr. Moore is amazing, and he has brought an incredible band program to the mountain. That's high praise. It's a lot of love. So, Dr. Moore, if you could, let's if you could take us out. We only have a few minutes left. Could you speak to us a bit about 6 minutes left? If you could speak to us a bit about the academic journeys, and we'll move from there.
So, the overarching goal for Oak Mountain as we are looking towards our next 5 years and beyond, but as we plan strategically for our students' success, trying to set them up to be ready for college or whatever follows. Of course, we do have 100% graduation rate. We have 100% college placement. Most of our kids get in their first choice of college, and that part is something that's been going on for quite some time on the mountain. And of course, we're very proud of that. That work by our staff, and certainly the work by our students and their families supporting them. But to try to make that more specific, we've talked about journeys, and that is, if a student wants to go into medicine, how can we help them have a more intentional track to get toward pre-med? If they want to go into business, how can we give them a more intentional track toward entrepreneurship? Mm-hmm. So these different things, we've coined the phrase prepare, explore, and achieve. So we want to, this broad base that I've spoken so much about today, at the lower school is that preparation, trying to lay that strong foundation so that when they move to the exploration, we can then decide sort of where do my strong interests lie? Is it in STEM? Is it in the fine arts? Is it in athletics? Is it in biology or law or social studies? Then we can start to help them to develop a journey, a pathway, if you will, that gets them to graduation and they're prepared for the next step that they want to take.
That's a solid. That really distills it. Planning, explore, achieve.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that really puts it in perspective. I mean, that is. I mean, the foundation which Oak Mountain is putting in place to ensure success for these kids,
right?
And trying to make sure that it's that they can find what journey fits them. I mean,
right.
that custom, personally tailored approach,
right?
I mean, do we think that this? This is something that's always sort of existed, but now it's very much streamlined and focused. Do we think that this really speaks, or this lends to the test scores and
sure.
college admission rates?
Right, absolutely. But also, I think all of those numbers and academics and test scores and all of those certainly are a big part of it. But also, I think even the Big Little program, one of the things that's hard to teach is soft skills. One of the things that people have troubles with in the business life, in the work world, and even in the college world, is making sure that they can work with others, that they can be a team player, and that they understand how to navigate those personal dynamics. And I think by trying to help students on that aspect of it, I think that helps. I think that's sort of an unseen component of this as well.
Excellent. So we only have about 3 minutes left. If you could, feel free not to. I know you may not want to go into full detail, and we don't have that much time. But I know that something we try to hit every time is that tuition for Oak Mountain can seem intimidating at first.
Sure.
Although it's it's very, very, very manageable. Could you speak a bit to the fact that there are scholarships available for families that are interested?
Right.
Tuition assistance and whatnot.
There is some tuition assistance through Georgia Goal, and we encourage our families to be a part of that. It does redirect some tax dollars for students, for us to help with scholarships. But we also have some board supported scholarships, and these are relatively new, and they're related to our New Journeys program. So these are available to most all students, depending on whether they're brand new students or returning students. So there are some opportunities for help there as well.
Perfect. Now, if parents that are listening would want to find out more information about the lower school, how should they go about that?
Well, Miss Amanda Tayeb, who is in the studio with us today, she is our admissions director, and she would be your first call. But certainly contact any of us at Oak Mountain Academy, deans, teachers, and we can help direct you in the right place. But Amanda is the keeper of knowledge when it comes to getting you on board at Oak Mountain Academy.
She is the keeper of the knowledge. She always knows what's going on.
Right.
Well, we're out of time, but I want to say thank you, Dr. Doug Moore, Kinsley Hart, 5th grader, Varian Buller, 3rd grader, and Holden Hansen, 4th grader, for coming on the program today and giving our listeners a bit of look behind the scenes at the lower school. So I'll tell you what, kids, and on 3, you're going to say, goodbye, West Georgia. Are you ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Goodbye, West Georgia.
I mean, who wants to follow that? Well, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time.